What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 77. We are back at it again to be discussing some Bills, Blue Jays, and Leafs. It's an interesting week, my friend. It's, again, playoffs continue for the Bills. Last Sunday, a great Sunday to say. It was pure dominance. I mean, from the beginning, I was fucking worried there for a minute. I was like, holy shit. But like most games go with these Bills and with Josh Allen, second half is the fucking best half for this team. You know, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And this exactly is what shows what they could do. They're a fucking team that should hopefully go a long way, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, they have a tough matchup this week. They don't have a weak offense like the Broncos. Yeah. Let's just start off with that game against Denver. That first drive had me worried. I think it was like 4 plays. They got down the field. Bo Nix just throws an absolute dime, 45 yards. I'm like, okay, so this is how it's going to go. Okay. I mean, I expected it to be close. Like, that's what my prediction was. I knew it was going to be. I thought it would be close because Denver's defense is very good. They can stop the passing game pretty well. They got Pat Surtain, cornerback. So I thought the Bills' offense would have some troubles at the beginning, and they did. You know, they got into the red zone many times. Just couldn't capitalize. They had to kick field goals, which isn't a problem. They're getting points on the board, but at the same time, like, you know, you got to be scoring touchdowns in the playoffs, especially against teams like Denver. So,
yeah.
First half, you know, we got lucky also at the end of the first half where they missed a field goal. That kicker, actually, Will Lutz, he hadn't missed a kick since like week 4, I think, this year. Yeah. So he was playing he was doing his job well, and then obviously Jim Nantz jinxed him, and he gives up the missed field goal, and that's kind of when the tide turned, right? After the second half, McDermott, where this team's a second half team, right? They make adjustments based off how their opponent's playing, and then they play like that. So they play like that in the second half, and you could tell, man, they looked really good out of the gate. In the second half. I think it wasn't Cook. It was the Ty Johnson catch that was really special on 4th and 1. I honestly didn't think they would be going for a touchdown ball on 4th and 1. I thought they'd just push it in with Allen, or do a short pass or a short run. But we got lucky with that. You know, Johnson stayed in bounds. I thought he might have stepped out before he caught the ball, but the boys played great in that second half, man. You know, they got stops too when they needed to. You know, the problem with Denver was that they don't have any run game. So that's why we kind of got lucky in that sense with, we only allowed 79 rushing yards, and over half of it was Bo Nix scrambling towards the end of the game. Yeah. So we kind of shut down their rushing offense. And to be honest, they didn't really have much this year. Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, like they're not star running backs like Cook or Derrick Henry, who the Bills will be coming up against this week. They need to build up that. And, as a playoff team, you got to learn how to, mix up your offense, right, with rushing and receiving. And the Bills did that great this game. Cook had over 100 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Yeah, Allen had 50 yards. Johnson had a couple nice runs. Everyone was getting the ball. Shakir had 6 catches. Samuel had a big, long touchdown in the second half. Everyone was catching the ball.
His fucking hit on the
Mims.
Yeah,
Mims is a baby. That guy's a baby, man. That guy could not take that hit, man. He's like, oh, fuck this. I'm getting the penalty. Honestly, like there was a unsportsmanlike penalty called on Hollins after he caught a ball and he stepped over Surtain. It was a little excessive, but at the same time, man, it's playoff football.
It's kind of sick too. It's fun.
It was, because Surtain's like one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he was getting, not gonna lie, the second half he was getting lit up, but he was mainly on Cooper and Cooper was getting locked up. He only had 2 catches for 8 yards. So
Wow.
they were kind of blocking him out that game and not throwing to Surtain because he's one of the best lockdown corners in the league. But the offense played good. They did what they had to do, scored over 30 points, which is their season average this year. And they got stops in the second half, especially. They did not allow many attempts for Denver to score. So that was really important for me to see in this game, was how the defense is going to react to the Denver offense, and they played great. So it was just that one drive at the beginning of the game, and then there was basically nothing after that. So yeah, very excited that we got this win. It was very convincing too. I was not expecting a convincing win, but yeah, Bills played very good.
They did.
Happy to see that.
They did play very well. It's good to see. I mean, yeah, like that's exactly what you want to see for this team. Next game is gonna be a tough one, though. Scary.
Yeah, probably the scariest team right now in the league, I think.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe Detroit, I think Baltimore is. Yeah, especially their offense. They are not going to be fun to play against. As we saw earlier in the year, we played them in week 4, I think, on Sunday night, and we got obliterated. And this is probably the game. Obviously, they've already voted for who's MVP, but this is really who's the MVP. This is I think this is the game where it comes down to, even though they've already voted who the MVP is for the season, this is really who's decidingly the best player this year. Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. This is really the game where that's going to be decided, and I am super excited to watch this game. Even if it's gonna be very tight. There's no way this is going to be a blowout. Bills are at home, night game. We'll talk predictions later because we're going to go through all the other games as well. But it's really, yeah, this is going to be a really fun weekend of football. There's going to be there's tight matchups here. There's not going to be a blowout, I don't think, this weekend, because there was a lot of bad games last weekend, like a lot of bad games.
Yeah.
The Chargers game was horrible. Herbert played probably his worst game of his career. He had 4 interceptions, even though I think he had 3 all year, which is crazy to me because Herbert's one of the better passers of the football. Obviously, the Ravens game was a blowout. It wasn't even a 2-score game. It was more like a 3 or 4-score game. They got a couple touchdowns late in the game. The Steelers shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. They got to do something to fix that team because there are some problems in the coaching staff. People need to be moved around, stuff like that. They had problems. Bills game was obviously a convincing win. You could say it was a blowout. The Eagles game was not fun to watch either. The Packers could not get anything going on offense, and the Eagles did not look very good either. They only scored 22 points. But the Commanders game,
that was a good game.
Commanders game was very good. I enjoyed that a lot. Back and forth action. Just the Buccaneers made too many mistakes late in the game. That fumble by Baker in their own on their own 15 cost them points. So yeah, it was an exciting game. Doink field goal to win it. Commanders are a good, exciting team. So I'm hoping that could be a close game against Detroit next week. And then the Rams-Vikings game was horrible.
Sam Darnold, holy shit, man.
Yeah, he was looking to get a big contract extension this year or next year, and that has just plummeted because 2 games in a row he has done absolutely nothing to prove that he's a good quarterback in this league, especially in clutch situations like a playoff game or a game to win your division and be the number 1 seed in the NFC. So yeah, I don't know what's up with him, but I think the Vikings should maybe switch to JJ McCarthy next year when he gets healthy. Yeah. So, but yeah, let's go into the divisional round matchups here. Some exciting games. Very excited to see these 4 coming up. First off, we have Houston against Kansas City on Saturday. Kansas City's at home, obviously, with their 1 seed. Texans coming off a big win, played very, very good defensively against a Chargers offense that's pretty good on both rushing and passing. But it's really hard to bet against Mahomes, even if he's has the refs on his side most of the time, or is using some devil magic to win games. I have to take Kansas City. I think it'll be very close, though. I think it'll be a very close game, as usual. I think Texans will stay in it. I think Stroud's going to be a little bit better than last week. I don't think he's going to take as many risks, especially against a Kansas City defense that's very good. So I think Stroud will be a little bit better than last week against the Chargers. I think he'll have better decision making, but it's Kansas City at home. It's really hard to beat them, as we know from the past. So I will take Kansas City in that game. And then game after that, we have the Commanders against the Lions. Detroit at home, Saturday night game. This is another fun one. Really excited to watch the Lions offense against this Commanders defense that was very stingy against the Bucs last week. I think this will be probably the highest scoring win, of difference, scoring margin win. I think the Lions will win. Jane Daniels, he's still a rookie, right? He doesn't have as much experience as the Lions made to the championship game. I think Jared Goff's gonna light up that Commanders secondary of Lattimore and St. Juste. I think the Lions are just too high powered. They're gonna end up winning it. And then Rams against the Eagles Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. I have an upset here. I think the Rams pull it off. I think the Rams go into Philadelphia and win. I don't know what Puka Nakua's injury update is saying, because he got injured last game. I don't know if he's ready to go this week. But I think the Rams defense played very good, and they proved themselves against a good Vikings offense last week. And, I think Stafford has the experience over Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles did not look very good last week. Saquon didn't have the best game. A.J. Brown was literally reading a book on the sideline, so he was doing absolutely nothing. Devontae Smith didn't do much either. Yeah, I think the Rams win a close game. I think they win I think this might go to overtime. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think the Rams pull off an upset and they go into Philadelphia and win. I'm excited to watch that game too, because they're two high-powered offenses also and stingy defenses. So, yeah, I think the Rams pull it off. I think they get an upset. And then the final game of the weekend, the big game, Ravens-Bills. Everyone's going to be watching this game, even if you're not a fan of these two teams. I think everyone's looking forward to this. I got to go with my gut. I'm just, I might be biased, but I'm picking Buffalo. I got to stick with my team. I think it'll be very different from what happened earlier in the year. Looking back on it, I remember there being a lot of injuries for Buffalo's defense. Taron Johnson was out, Milano was out, Ed Oliver was out, Terrell Bernard was out. So basically all of our linebackers and, main defensive leaders were out of the lineup. And this is in Buffalo. It's going to be freezing. I think I checked the weather. I think it's going to be -10 during the game. So it's going to be very cold. It's going to be in Buffalo's favor, even though Baltimore knows how to play in cold conditions. I just think Josh Allen, he's going to take over this game. He's going to be running all over the place. I think the Bills will have a better time stopping Derrick Henry than the Steelers did, and then what Buffalo did earlier in the year, where they had almost 200 yards rushing. I think Derrick Henry is not going to have as much room to run the ball. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have to take over a bit. It's going to be a very high-scoring game. Defenses are not going to have a fun time on Sunday. That's for sure. I think it's just going to be a quarterback duel. I think Josh Allen and Lamar are just going to go off. They're going to play as hard as they possibly can to win. If I'm going to be honest here, this is a bold prediction, but I think whoever wins this game wins the Super Bowl. So that's all I'm going to say. If the Bills lose, I think the Ravens win Super Bowl. If the Bills win, you know the answer.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, I won't say anything. But I think Buffalo. I think Buffalo takes this. It's going to be very close though, like extremely close. Like it might go into overtime, and overtime football for this game would be insane. Would be insane. So
that's never
playoff overtime rules have been changed now. Both teams have a chance at playing offense. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this game on Sunday. Yeah, get your popcorn ready, people.
Sounds good.
Those are my predictions.
Yeah, man. Fuck, I'm gonna get somebody to cover my shift on Sunday, bro. I don't want to work.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to miss this game.
Yeah. No.
You don't want to cover my shift.
Yeah, for sure.
That. All right. Well, Texans Chiefs. I'll do my prediction.
Okay.
Texans Chiefs. I'm gonna go Texans, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Betting against Mahomes.
Fuck it, man. Like I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're that good. And you know it too. You know it though.
Yeah, I know they're not good, but it's Mahomes in the playoffs.
It's not happening. They've already won their fucking championships. Right now, my belief is just taking a look at Tom Brady because you can compare the two. They're both really, really good quarterbacks, had their championships. He's already won 3. Mahomes has already won 3 championships at the beginning of his career. Brady, he won 3 championships at the beginning of his career. Right near the beginning. Then went on like 7-10 years, I'm pretty sure, without winning a Super Bowl. Then after that, had won 4 more. My belief is that that's what's going to happen here, and Mahomes is going to go on a little bit of a wreck with his. He's going to make the playoffs, but he's just not going to be able to go 1, 2, 3 again. Keep going back to back to back. I think it's just he's been good in every single playoff game that he's played, except like there's a couple where he has lost, but I think this is the game where he just fucking puts up a stinker.
Okay.
So
the Rams, the Rams defense was very good. Not Rams, sorry, Texans. Texans defense was very good last weekend, so I could definitely see that happening. I do like that comparison though, with the start of Brady's career, how he had, didn't have the best, he had that little lull in between.
When he had like fucking Randy Moss on his team and fucking just like they were good. Went to the Super Bowl multiple times, or once actually, I think in that period. With
two times.
Okay, there you go.
Against the Giants twice. Yep.
Yeah, and lost both against the Giants. Eli Manning, his daddy. So
yeah.
Anyway.
What was I going to say? Also, every time Mahomes has been in the playoffs, he has made it to the championship game. AFC Championship game. So that's just another stat to bring up.
He's not.
Okay.
And then also that same day, that same Saturday, Commanders, Lions. I'm going Lions. It's got to be the Lions. It's got to be the Lions.
They also, I forgot to mention earlier, they also have Montgomery coming back. Their other running back who's very good. That'll be another deciding factor. He probably won't get as many snaps, but he'll be playing. He's a big part of that offense.
As we know, they're fucking incredible. They're maybe the best team in the entire NFL right now. Yeah, definitely them. Next game, Rams and Eagles. I've got to go. I like your pick. I think I'm going to go Rams as well, man. Like, Matthew Stafford, he played fucking great last game. Like, the beginning is the first quarter is a little bit rough. There's a lot of back and forth, like, between, like, interceptions and shit like that. Like, I was watching that game. But he came in through clutch, and he knows how to perform in playoff atmospheres. He's a good QB. And I think, Rams take the cake against the Eagles. It'll be tough. Eagles are fucking good, but I think the Rams over the Eagles. And then Ravens Bills. This is, I think, the hardest choice. Like it could go really either way. It really could. I I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Wow.
I
All
need
right.
to. I haven't had anything that's. Yeah, they're a really good team this year, but they've also been really good teams years prior. Like, what makes this different? Like, yes, they don't have Stephon Diggs, and maybe that's a big difference, but it's not enough to make that's more of a mental thing. Like, there's on paper, like your team's technically worse without him, and I'm not. I think there isn't that much of a difference between uh, years prior. So I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, like Ravens. I want them to win. I want them. I want the Bills to fucking win, but I just think the Ravens are a better team. They're scary, man. They just have this scare. And I also don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to get my hopes up. I just,
Okay.
I've dealt with enough. I've
Fair
dealt with
enough.
enough pain in like
With the
Toronto
Jays,
sports
yeah.
and Blue
Yeah,
Jays
and
and
Leafs. Yeah,
Leafs.
Leafs. Oh,
And
Leafs. Don't even get me
I'm
started
just
on the
gonna
Leafs.
tell
But
that myself. And then if they win, I'm gonna be really happy and I'm gonna celebrate and I'm gonna FaceTime you and say you were right, man. You were right. I wish I had your
yeah,
confidence. I'm a pussy. You know, that's what I'll say. So
I know. Like I was very hard. It was very hard to decipher who I would pick, but I'm just going with my gut and my life fandom of this team that has not gotten over the hurdle, and it sets up some nice matchups for next week. I think Chiefs Bills again in the playoffs would be special. I think that would be special, but it'd also be nice if it was Texans Ravens would be interesting. I think the Ravens would destroy Houston if that happened. That would be a nice. They would be at home also, Baltimore. Um, and then Lions Rams again. Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit again. His old team playing in the playoffs again. That would be exciting to see happen. Get his revenge. Maybe go back to another Super Bowl with Los Angeles. That would be interesting. A lot of interesting matchups could happen. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this weekend. But yeah, a lot of tough matchups. But let's
stuff.
yes, scary games. But let's go into our now struggling, horrible Toronto Maple Leafs, who are just shitting the bed right now. I think they've lost their last 3 games, and it just does not look good. Does not look good for them.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe it's just a
Mid-season
first
lull.
division, but
It's a
yeah,
mid-season lull. They usually have one of these a year.
Yeah.
They lost to Carolina on Thursday. That was not a fun game to watch.
They're a
I
good
remember
team,
watching
though.
that
They're
game.
really good. Like,
Yes, they're a solid team. I think Jordan Stahl had a hat trick. He's like 40 years old. Scores a hat trick.
crazy amount.
Don't know where that came from. And then we get shut out by Vancouver on Saturday. Another not fun game to watch. I kept flipping back and forth with the football and the hockey game, and it was just not a good game to watch. They just literally the Leafs could not do anything against that team, against Vancouver. Like Vancouver's also very good too. Like they're not a bad team.
Yeah,
But
no,
the fact that you get shut out at home is kind of crazy, especially for a team that scores a lot. It was not fun. It was not fun to see that. And then yesterday against Dallas, like usually Dallas we play very good against. Like every year. I think we've had like a 5-6 game winning streak against Dallas, and 4-1 at home. Like we're at home in these games. We're not away. We should be taking care of these guys, at least keeping it close.
Yeah.
4-1 at home is not a good look. Morgan Riley has not been good this year. I think I keep thinking to myself I got to bring it up in the podcast. Just watching the games, Morgan Riley has not been good this year. He has not really. He has not produced. He has not produced much offensively. He's had a tough time with the plus minus. He's minus 15 plus minus right now. Only 20 points in 45 games. He's not playing well. What are your thoughts on this this little 3 game slump they've had?
Again, they are against good teams. I mean, the like Dallas, they are a good team, and then the Carolina is another team that I feel like even last year we had struggles against quite a lot, like against Carolina. Like they were just they're better defense. They're just in every way, and then Vancouver's again another really good team, and we just couldn't get it done. I think we're on just like a scoring lull. Like you just you know 1 goal, 4 goals in the last 3 games. That's not good. It's like you could do better than that. And then yeah, like I thought it was going to be closer with Carolina. It was not like in terms of like what was happening. Like it was tied at one point, and then or it was closer, and then it just fell off completely. I think we need Mr.
Mm-hmm.
McCabe back too. I think that's an issue. We need him back.
Yeah,
He's
we
like
need
one of
Uncle
the best
Jake.
defensemen on this team. Obviously, you got to figure out ways to do without him, but um, and Stolars, you need fucking back too. That's a huge guy that you need back. Uh, but yeah, yeah, it's. I think they'll win next game. So I actually
Against Frank the
I
Tank's
actually
New
know they're
Jersey
going to win
Devils.
next game. I think they're going
Okay.
to. I think next game is going to be a wake up call. It's like, hey, get the fuck out of this 3 game losing streak. We've been on 3 game losing streaks before. This isn't the first one we've had this year. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried.
The schedule coming up, they have New Jersey tomorrow, and then the red hot Montreal Canadiens. They are playing very good as of late, and same with Detroit too. Detroit has I think they've won 7 straight. Detroit has been playing very good. Everyone in the Atlantic is this division's super tough right now. Super tough with Florida, Tampa, Boston's playing okay right now. Ottawa's in the mix, which is a rarity to see. They have not been in the playoffs for a while. And then Montreal and Detroit coming up strong. Like, yeah, Detroit has definitely made a surge back into the playoff mix. But the Leafs play Detroit, and then Montreal on Saturday, and then a tough game against Tampa on Monday. And if we do talk about it, we'll talk about the Blue Jackets who play next Wednesday in Toronto. So a little home stretch here. They go away to Montreal, but 3 out of the next 4 are at home. So tough stretch of games, tough opponents, but the Leafs need to play these tough opponents. I feel like they play pretty good against these opponents, and they win these types of games. But we've seen the past couple of games where they play tough opponents, they get blown out. So you never know what could happen. But I will go with your sure answer of the Leafs will win the next game against New Jersey.
Well,
Sheldon Keefe's homecoming.
yep,
So
I'm ready.
there you go.
Give it to me. This it'll be a funny game. It'll be interesting for sure. Holy shit, though! I'm just looking at right now. Connor Hillbuck. Is that how you
Hellebuck.
pronounce it?
Yeah.
Hell, he's got a 1.99 goals against average. He is
Yeah,
fucking insane.
He'll probably win the Vezina again.
Yeah, of course. Holy shit. That's why they're doing so well. Jets are fucking crazy. Vegas is like really well right now. Washington. I thought Washington was gonna like fall off a little bit, like just go off their heater, but they've been
Mm-hmm.
continuing to stay strong. Like I did not think they were gonna be as good as they are. They are. They are very good.
Jets, yeah, Jets are playing very good this year. Very good.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's move on to some Jays talk. There is some Jays talk.
Yes,
Coming
very
up.
interesting news with the Jays. We signed a player. We signed Jeff Hoffman to a 3-year deal over $33 million. I think it's a great deal because he is a fucking great reliever. He was great. He was a great reliever for the Phillies, who were great last year. And one of their best probably their top reliever on that team, was an all-star. I think this is a great deal, especially since having the worst bullpen in all of baseball last year, and to go to get a couple players like this. We got 3 players already acquired in this offseason. Nick Sandlin, who is a pitcher who will be, I think, a decent reliever for the Jays next year. And Jimmy Garcia, who you got, and you got Jeff Hoffman, who will probably be your closer next year, which I think is a great. He throws upwards like 96, 97. I got a great slider. I think he can be a huge asset for this team, and you can put Yariel in the bullpen, add that too. It's looking like a pretty good bullpen. It can come together. It's going to look better than I think it will last year. That's for sure. It was already started to look better than it did last year. That's the biggest issue. There's some other things though, like apparently he did get flagged for his physical by the Baltimore Orioles and the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves offered him a 5-year deal, and they decided, no, let's not do that. And then Jeff Hoffman was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the Orioles. He's like, no, I'm not going to go to the Orioles because they said I had a bad physical too. So there's some sort of thing that they saw in his arm. I don't know what it was, but apparently it wasn't that big of a deal because both teams were willing to renegotiate deals and still sign him, because they still felt that it was like, yeah, like, we'll be fine. It's not going to be that bad. It's just like something we see, so we're not going to sign you to a crazy fucking 5-year deal. But then he's like, no, I'm going to go to Toronto because they don't notice anything, and Jays got him. Jays were desperate. So, yeah, even if we do sign a player, we are still the third choice, which is hilarious. But, yeah. The other news, though, is ROKI SASAKI. It's down to 3 teams: Blue Jays, Padres, and the Dodgers.
Why the fuck do the Dodgers need him? Why do they need him?
They didn't have pitching last year.
They don't need anyone else. They don't need anyone else, man.
I know.
Fuck off.
I think he's going to be a Padre. My guess, he's not a Blue Jay. I do not think he's going to be a Blue Jay. I think he's going to be a Padre for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
not the fucking Dodgers. Their starting rotation is insane. They don't need another arm.
Yeah, he's going.
Jays need fucking pitchers.
It makes sense why he'd be a Padre. He talked about how he wants to be possibly surrounded by stars, so he doesn't feel like he's the main attraction when he's there. He wants to live a low-key life. I think the media he got when he was in Japan was pretty bad on him, harsh on him, and like all over him, and he didn't like that. He's a very quiet and reserved guy who can throw fucking 103 and has a disgusting
he's
splitter.
Dude. This has nothing to do with real life, but I used him in MLB The Show, and he has one of the dirtiest sliders I have ever seen. He
might have the best fastball in all of baseball. Like, his fastball is like 102, 103.
Insane. Him and Paul Skeens are probably the 1-2 right now. Like they're really good.
But yes, Paul Skeens 100% has the best fastball in baseball, I'd say right now. Like, yeah, in the MLB, yeah, he's fucking scary. But yeah, I think we just saw like on Twitter the teams that were told they will not be signing with this team. They will not be signing with this team. He's informed that, like, to the Rangers, to the Mets, to the Yankees, to a bunch of teams, that he won't be signing with them. And then he decided Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Padres. So that'll be interesting. I think he's going to be a Padre. I really see him being a Padre. Yeah, that'll be an interesting rivalry. That'll make.
Yeah, who do the Padres have right now?
What's that?
Who do the Padres have right now in their starting rotation?
They've got a pretty good start. They've got Dylan Cease, Joe Musgrove, Darvish. Padres got and Michael King, who was really good last year.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
They've got a really good rotation. So
so then that would help them a lot. That would help them a lot if they got him. That makes sense. That makes sense. Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito. Yeah, who are those guys?
No, those are
they would make if they get. I think that's a good pick. I think that would be
Matt Waldron.
That would make a lot of sense if he goes to San Diego. Yeah, not good for us though. I would love to have ROKI on the Jays. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, definitely. I 100% agree with you.
I wanted to ask you this too. What happened to Ryu? That was my boy, man.
Hyunjin Ryu?
That was my guy. Yeah, what happened to that guy, man?
He went to Korea, back to South Korea to play, and then I think he's retired.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, he had a decent career.
He did. He did have a good career. Yeah, he was fun with Toronto for a couple of years. He was really good. In 2020 he was good, and then in 2019 he was really good, and then he kind of fell off after that. But then he came back in 2023 and he was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, that's it for the Blue Jays. It looks like got to re-sign Vladdy. Got to do a bunch of things.
Got to get Santander.
And then I'll be.
There's a lot of things that have to happen.
Yep. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to our next discussion. Top 5. This is going to be a fun one. Top 5 conspiracy theories. I've written up a list. I don't know how crazy it is, but it actually, some of it might be crazy, and some of it it could be a little controversial too. You know, because they are controversial. They're conspiracy theories. They're going to be controversial. So yeah, who wants to go first? You want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
This was in my vault actually for a while. My top 5 vault. I think I mentioned it last week. Okay. Honorable mention. This is kind of a one that I have, but it's like kind of my own. But like I think other people might think this too. I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift is working with the NFL. I think that's since last year. I saw
that list. Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely. I saw it online. And I'm like, yeah, this has got to be put on the list. We can tell by how much she's getting posted on the Instagram page. How much time she gets on TV when the Chiefs play, especially in the last year in the playoffs, it was unfucking believable.
You don't see
and literally after every catch Kelsey had, they'd show Taylor Swift immediately. Mm-hmm. You don't get that with any other player in the NFL. Like I remember when Tom Brady was dating or was married to what's her name, Giselle, that supermodel. She was on TV for like the Super Bowl a couple times, but she's a pretty famous celebrity.
Dude, but she's not Taylor Swift. She's not even close to Taylor Swift.
I know, but I'm trying to think of other relationships. No, I know. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. Or like
Haley Steinfeld. That's not a terrible one.
No, but she's not as popular as Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's more popular than Giselle. There's nobody like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the most famous person in the world, and I do know what you're saying though with that conspiracy theory. I saw that.
I think she is working. She's working with them.
Apparently, like it was over like $300 million that the NFL profited off of her.
Fuck yeah, probably even more than that. If we're going to be completely honest, probably even more than that. The amount of revenue they're gaining off her, jersey sales, all that, ticket prices. They don't even like people who are Taylor Swift fans. And they go to these football games. They don't even know if they don't know what's happening. They're just there to see her. They're not even there to watch the game, right?
Yeah,
that's what she's bringing in. So that's my honorable mention. Number 5.
Before you go, apparently, or before you continue, this is breaking news. A source confirms to me that, not close to me. I'm reading somebody else's tweet that the Mets are trying to put together a trade package right now for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Oh my God!
They're actually trying to get him, and then it says the Mets are pushing hardest for Vladdy Jr.
So my guess is the Jays are probably going to get like Alonso with that.
No, Alonso is a free agent, so they're not going to get him. Alonso's a free agent right now.
Okay, we'll have that discussion after the top 5. We'll talk about that.
Continue what you're saying though.
Okay, at 5. I have the pyramids were not built by humans. There's no way in hell that was built by humans. Aliens built that shit. There's no way. I've never been to Egypt and seen the pyramids of Giza. But I've seen videos. There's no fucking way humans are carrying those size rocks and putting them together. You can't convince me for a second that's real. You can't. You cannot convince me that's real. That's a really good conspiracy theory. I really like that one. Number 4. This is a movie related one because we love our movies. I think the Stanley Kubrick one where he died after the making before Eyes Wide Shut was released. I think someone higher up in Hollywood, someone related to those types. I don't know if anyone's seen Eyes Wide Shut before, but it's a lot of Illuminati, secret parties, a lot of weird shit going on in that movie. But I think a higher up who watched the movie or saw a pre-screening of it said, no, this can't be released. You gotta, he didn't want anything to people. The higher up probably didn't want anything more to happen to it. I mean, the movie got released anyways, but it wasn't Kubrick's final cut because he died before they could get the movie finished editing. So they had just the whatever he had done before, and they released it. But I think the Illuminati or whoever the fuck, is a part of those types of things. I think they had Kubrick killed. That's just a side thing. I don't know, but it's a good conspiracy theory. I have a lot of death ones on my list. A lot of death conspiracy theories. My next one, number 3. I have. I don't think Princess Diana's death was accidental. I don't think that was a car accident. I think I have a hard time believing that was an accident. I don't know if you watched the show The Crown.
No.
It's kind of like the life. It's kind of like the life of the royal family. I wasn't a big royal family person, but my dad kind of put me on. He's like, "Yeah, it's really good acting," and I got hooked. And they kind of stopped. Right, they kind of stopped the show right after Diana died. It's like it's a new show. It's a new show, but it's like they stopped the show at in the late 90s, early 2000s, that type of thing. And it makes the show makes you think that Diana was at the time when she died, she was dating this, I forgot the guy's name. It was some Saudi, what's his name?
I saw what you're looking at though, yeah. Because they were trying to disband her from disassociate her even more because
Dodi Fayed. That's right. Dodi Fayed was he was dating her at the time when they died, and I'm pretty sure that they just didn't want her to if they did, obviously they had divorced, I think, before this happened, but they did not want to associate the royal family with another country. So there's been a lot of problems with that royal family recently, and fairly recently too, with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, that type of stuff. But I think that's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2, this is another death one. I have the JFK assassination and a lot of links with the CIA, and Lee Harvey Oswald didn't actually kill JFK that day. It was actually the CIA who ended up doing it. And I don't know if have you watched JFK, the movie with Kevin Costner? Oh yeah, it's very good in convincing you that the CIA actually did it, and it wasn't just some random guy who just wanted to kill the president. It seemed very convincing, and I believed it too. It's very good and very good dialogue, very good characters in it. In the movie, a lot of people in it too, a lot of good actors. Anyone who hasn't seen it, go check it out. But it's it's a weird conspiracy theory. I definitely believe that it was not just some random person just kill. I think the CIA had something to do with it because they didn't like what JFK was doing for the country or what his motives were after the election. But I'm putting that number 2, and then number 1. This is pretty obvious. The fake landing on the moon. I think that's definitely the fact that it's being talked about for over 60 years, over 50 years, sorry, 50 years, that, they just did that so the U.S. could win the Cold War, get ahead of the Russians, that kind of stuff. I've always found that very fascinating. And there's been very many movies and discussions about it, talking about, apparently, Kubrick apparently was involved, if it was fake. Kubrick was involved in the directing of the fake landing on the moon and stuff. Like, I've heard stories about that too, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I fully believe that they did land on the moon. But I love the discussion about it is fascinating to me. So it just doesn't make sense. Like, here, I'll go into a little bit of discussion about it. It just doesn't make sense how three astronauts in NASA would prepare for something so massive. Build an actual rocket. That amount of money just to fake, going to space. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic behind that, but
behind faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do understand. I do understand the conspiracy behind faking it and getting ahead of the Soviet Union or whatever. It does make sense to me, but spending all that amount of money just to do that is kind of crazy. And I don't see how all that preparation for that and it would be fake. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
Fair enough.
That's my list.
Okay, so I'll go first, or I'll go next. My honorable mention. This one's really interesting, and this one's really funny though too.
Okay.
Michelle Obama is a man.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you.
Michelle Obama is a man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one.
There's been conspiracy theories around that she is actually a man, and
really,
yeah. If you look, there's photos. Go look up photos. They're obviously fucking, but there's photos.
Oh, I have. Okay, I just thought of so many new ones now, like conspiracies. Fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I.
And I think that it's a pretty funny one. I don't think it's real, but I think it's really funny, and I think that it's just crazy.
Yeah.
People believe that though. Like, there's people out there that do believe that. All right.
I don't know.
Number 5. The CIA was a part of the JFK assassination.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the other one that you talked about. I think that's very realistic too, because I think he was almost like, I actually don't know too much, but I don't know maybe why they would, but I think I guess I do know why they would. It does seem like a logical thing as to, like, why would Lee Harvey Oswald just kill this guy randomly? Like, it just seems like he would be set up by somebody to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack Ruby was going to killed him because they thought he was going to reveal because that's the weird part, is that he was killed, that Jack Ruby
right.
Lee Harvey Oswald was killed, and Jack Ruby obviously did it because he had intel on he was going to reveal stuff about JFK, and that why they wanted to kill him. Number 4, another one that you came out with is the moon landing was faked.
Right.
I could easily agree with you on this, that it's one of the craziest. Is it? I don't know. Like, I've thought about it, and I've thought, like, you could see, like, you could see it doesn't look like it's like anybody could set this up. Anybody could just set this stage up and, like, film, like, it super shitty quality and make it look realistic and trick people into thinking that it's real. People have been to space, and it's pretty crazy that people have been on the moon, on a planet, not on a planet, but on this rock, and, like, been outside and, like, actually, like, landed on the moon. It's pretty wild, and walked on the moon is pretty insane, in my opinion. But
one of the coolest people, like, in the world to me is what's his name?
Neil Armstrong?
No, the Canadian guy.
Oh,
the guy who's saying, yeah, he's fucking awesome, man. Love that guy. And he did all those videos of him, like, how to brush your teeth in space on YouTube. Like, those videos are so cool.
how to eat in
You know,
space.
it's just so cool. It's so cool. Like I love astronomy and all that bullshit. You know, all that
Astronomy.
stuff with planets. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
love that.
I thought you. Fuck, I'm getting mixed up with
Space.
astrology and astronomy.
No. Like space and shit. Like you know, rockets and
Okay.
how gravity works in space. So cool. Love that shit.
Number 3. Um, Daniel Larson and Joshua Block are secretly running the underground gypsies in New York City. I
Oh my
think
god.
I think they are the head ringers of the underground. I think they act as if they are dumb, and they're the reason why all of this chaos has been started in the U.S. Like
God.
they are the leaders. They are the underground leaders of probably
For
everything.
Christ's sakes. All right.
Okay, no, that's not actually what it you should put
Okay.
that down on the list when we upload the list. Just say Daniel Larson and Joshua Block secretly running the world.
Fucking
But
Daniel
actually,
Larson. Oh my
yeah,
god.
my real one is the Zodiac killer. I don't think it was one person. I think it was multiple people. I
What's
genuinely
this?
the
What's
Zodiac.
this again? Zodiac. Okay.
I genuinely think it was multiple people, not just one person.
Oh, okay.
I think it was lots of people posing as the Zodiac killer
Right.
and just putting signs on that said there was a Zodiac killer. I think it was multiple people. It just has to be because they never
Okay.
caught him. And
Right.
random people. They got some people, but some things didn't match up properly, and other things
Right.
didn't match up. I just
Good
think,
movie, by the way.
yeah.
Good movie.
Um, Number 2, the Illuminati runs the world. Is the underground.
Yeah.
The Illuminati is such an interesting one because it's just there's so much secret about the world that we don't know about, and you know it's there's people have power. People have power. Rich people have power, and that's the idea of the Illuminati. Is all the big figures and authorities in the world are secretly controlling the media and controlling aspects of the world and the economy and all this stuff. And uh, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't think.
Especially like I've heard rumors about Beyonce and Jay-Z
Oh yeah,
being the heads of the Illuminati, like that type of shit.
lizard people, man. Have you heard about that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Some wild shit, man. Like you know, especially with recent events of you know a certain rapper, and I've always this is a stupid thing. Obviously, I'm not uh, saying that this is real, but I've heard people say that the wildfires in California are an excuse, like, a reason, like, to burn down evidence of the Diddy parties. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, there's no way in hell. Like, that's the reason
But I bet you
why.
there are people that do believe that. People believe that. People believe
It's so stupid.
the hurricanes going on in like where was it, Georgia, Atlanta, or
Like, yeah, like Florida, like all
Florida
those,
area,
all
yeah,
that southwest, southeast, sorry, Southeast America.
was like a man-made hurricane, which makes no fucking
Oh
sense.
my god, like,
But because to destroy, like, just I don't know, I don't even know why,
it's
but
ridiculous.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like destroying like millions of people's, or I don't know if it was millions, but like hundreds of thousands of people's homes for just to fucking just
Yeah,
nothing. Like because Diddy's fucking party was, yeah, I don't know. It makes no sense. But speaking of like again with the celebrity, conspiracy theories. Number
mm-hmm.
one, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, I should have put that on my list. That's a good one.
Uh,
Yeah.
this one's it's quite possible, man. It's
No,
quite
I think I believe it. I believe it. I don't think he killed himself.
yeah.
I think someone
Oh,
went into that
there's
prison
so much
and
under people. There's so much. There's these files out there.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
he's definitely got dirt on people, and yeah, I know Trump was friends with him, and the Clintons were friends with him, and lots of people were friends with him.
Oh yeah.
Stephen Hawking
There's
was.
a lot of there was a lot of there's obviously, like, people think like the U.S. government runs a child sex ring, like all of these like crazy allegations and shit.
They are
like with Epstein and his island and stuff. I've watched documentaries on it, and it's obviously true that he's done horrible things, but like I think he definitely did not kill himself. There's no way he definitely wanted to stay in court, try to get a court and try and rat people out. There's no way he offed himself. There's no way. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't think he.
That's a really good one. There's another one I was thinking about when you mentioned. Oh shoot! I keep forgetting now. There was one really good one that I remembered that I was thinking about putting on. Anyways, I'll think about it after. But let's talk about this Jays really quickly. Let's talk about this Jays trade thing of recent events. Apparently, I just saw another thing. It's a little thing, but Jays traded Brett DeGoose. I don't even know who this is. They traded him to Pittsburgh for cash. So there you go.
Not that I really care, but yeah.
No. I thought you might have known him.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Vladdy, I don't think he's gonna get traded. I really don't think he's gonna get traded. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't think he's gonna get traded. They can try. It's got to be an insane. Like it's got to make your team better. Like you gotta put in maybe a Mark Vientos in there. Like I want prospects too. Maybe Luis Angel Acuna. Like I want that. A pitcher.
Right.
I'd want. Do they have any young pitchers coming up?
Edwin Diaz.
No, I don't want Edwin. I want prospects. I want about to be ready prospects with the Mets. So I want like Luis Angel Ronald Acuna's younger brother. That's his name. That's who he is. Luis Angel Acuna.
That's his brother?
That's his younger brother. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mark Vientos. That's got to be a part of it. I think
that'd be a nice pickup. I'd like him.
Luis Angel Acuna. Maybe trying to think of other pitchers. Not Tyler McGill. Not David Peterson. Maybe Ronnie Mauricio. That's another guy.
Who's the source that said that they're going to get a trade?
Hector Gomez is one guy, and then it was one guy that works for the Mets. John Hyman was just talking about it on some podcast. Yeah.
That would make the Mets dangerous. Soto, Lindor, Vlad. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
That would be scary.
It would be fun to watch.
Sure, he would love to be traded to the Mets. I bet you he'd love to get traded to the Mets. I would.
Yeah. You're in New York, too. A much better, much more money, too. Cohen's going to pay whatever the fuck he wants, give him whatever he wants. Yeah. I just can't believe Atkins just doesn't want to pay him. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand the logic. I've said this so many times, but if the Jays do not get Vlad, if they don't sign him to an extension or a deal, then he has to. Like they have to go. Everyone has to go. No question. They have to go. Like there's no. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me why they'd stay if you don't get your franchise player. Yeah. I don't know.
Sucks.
That's just me, man. That's just me, but I'm sure you agree with that. But yeah,
I got a question because it just brings up why do we put ourselves through all this stress and like fucking just anger? When do you have fun? Like, what's the most enjoyment you've got out of watching a sports game? Like, I still try and chase the feeling I had in 2015 watching the Jays. Like
when the Leafs made it past the first round.
But that was awesome. That was fucking awesome. Like
I was in the garage with my buddies and we just went ape shit, man. It was such a good time. That was such a great game. I mean, the fact that is my number one feeling is crazy. My team getting out of the first round. I mean, I didn't
Imagine how it would
really.
be if they won the Stanley Cup. Like, think about that. And that's
Oh,
Chase, man.
dude, you don't even want to know what I do.
You'd be at the parade, man. I'd be on the parade.
The city would shut down, man. It would shut down. But like, I can't believe like that's my number one. Like, not even the, Bills making it to the championship game a few years ago when they beat Baltimore in the divisional round. I don't even like that wasn't even like it was a big reaction, but like I wasn't as big of a Bills fan to like, you know, it's not as big as like a Leaf win, right? Maybe I don't know, not even like a gold medal from Canada. Like 2014, I wasn't old enough to like really remember like react as much, but yeah, it's hard to chase those feelings. If the time is right now, it's the Bills, right? Or the team right now, it's the Bills. It all depends. Well, it all depends on the first round with the Leafs this year, but if it's right now, it's the Bills. You want to get that reaction, but yeah man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention when we were talking about the NFL. You went 5-1 last week.
I know, I did. I did.
5-1. I went 4-2.
Imagine I bet on that. Probably not much.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I did put a parlay.
How about your Dawson Knox parlay?
Dude, the reason why it didn't hit is because everyone was talking about it. The day of the game, I saw 3 posts of like betting sites saying, "Oh, Dawson Knox has gotten the first touchdown in the last 4 wildcard games." I'm like, now they just jinxed it.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's because everyone was talking about it. Fuck. Ah, what a shame. Oh well.
Yep. That's funny. So,
Not anymore. Too many people were talking about it, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. All right. Well, I think that ends it off for our episode today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to stay tuned, like the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. We are on all those apps. We will see you guys very soon. Make sure to check out the Spotify. Cheers.
Go Bills.
See you next week. Go Bills and Leafs and Blue Jays. Sign Vladdy. Sign Santander. Sign Sasaki.